Back at it again with another video. Alright, it's finally here, Black Friday sales. This year Tacklewarehouse is having rolling sales throughout the month of November and probably into December too. I bet they do some January sales. But I just want to take you through a few of the reels and hard baits and swim baits that I was looking at. I'm going to add a bunch to my shopping cart. I'm not going to buy every single thing that we look at. But I thought since I was doing it, maybe somebody else would be interested too. And I have to say, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm not paid by anyone. So these are just my own unfiltered opinions, right or wrong. Let's get into it. First, we're going to start out with Shimano spinning reels. Now for me, Shimano spinning reels don't get interesting until the Ultegra. And I'll show you why. If you look at the Ultegra, this is the first one, at least that I know of, that has this smooth transition from the line roller to the bail wire. And what that means is that you don't have to be very careful putting the line into the line roller every time you make a cast and start reeling. The reel is set up to do that seamlessly for you. So you want to make a couple rapid fire casts, you don't have to worry about putting the line in the line roller. This smooth transition prevents a lot of hassles with spinning reels. And I have 2 or 3 of the Ultegras. They're great reels. Some people don't like the cosmetics, but for me, it's not a big factor. I think it's probably the best value in Shimano's lineup. I haven't fished the Stratic FM, but the FL is great. To me, the FM is just a small iteration difference than the FL, so that's not a big deal to me. Now, on the contrary, I have fished the Sahara, and you'll see that the transition between the line roller and the bail wire isn't smooth. In fact, there's a little divot. There's a little detent there. That's the worst possible design for a bail wire and line roller combo, because the line will get stuck in there. I actually had one of these reels. I had to return it because to me it was just unfishable. Even ice fishing vertically with a 500 size reel, it's just unfishable, at least for me. So I would aim at Shimano Ultegra, Stratic, and on up. Daiwa, in my opinion, does a much better job on the low end. Pretty much starting at the Revros. And if you get this on sale, it'd be less than $60, but somewhere in that range. And Daiwa recently revamped their line roller and bail wire design. Some of them on the website still have the fat bail wire, which I prefer. But this is not exactly a smooth transition, but it's much better than the low end of Shimano spinning reels. And you can see that, yeah, this is one of the older styles. See that big beefy bail wire? I like that. And see that smooth transition? It's called a one-piece bail wire, but it's not. You can obviously see it's 2 pieces there. But that's okay. It's a smooth transition from the line roller to the bail wire, and it has that nice fat bail wire, which I like. And I have a couple of these Legalises, and they're excellent. The Regal is another step up. It's got a deeper spool. You can see it as the newer design of the bail wire. The 2500, I guess the pictures, oh, it is the 2500. It has the T-style handle, which is nice because you used to be only able to get that on the 3000 size and up. So more line capacity on the Regal. It's got a deep spool, has the T handle on the 2500 size, which is nice. And you can go on all the way up the line. Now, once you get into Fuego and some of the other little bit higher end Daiwa reels, they're mag sealed. Now I like that for fishing in saltwater, light saltwater, as long as you're careful They do resist saltwater intrusion, but you can't service your own reels very easily because they take magnetic oil. So if you sniff around online, you might be able to find some Daiwa mag oil. You can't use regular oil, otherwise you'll disrupt the magnetic oil that's already in there. So you either have to send out your reels for service, which is kind of a hassle, or you have to sniff around the internet and find some mag oil that will work with Daiwa reels. It's out there. You have to do a little bit of searching, but it's out there. And Daiwa doesn't want to release that mag oil to the public for whatever reason. So they make it difficult to service your own reels. But the Fuego is a nice reel. I have a couple of them. Mainly I use them for salt. Actually, I use them in freshwater for about a year or two, and then I convert them over to saltwater. They have pretty good drag ratings. I don't know if the drag's going to show up here, but some of the smaller ones have 20 pounds of drag, which is a lot of drag for a little spinning reel. All right, let's keep moving right along here. Daiwa casting reels. Now for me, I have a couple of these Daiwa Fuego CTs. For the price, they're pretty hard to beat. They compete with the Luz LFS. But what I like about these is they come with nice padded grips right here. The Luz LFS, I need to switch out to the combat grips, which is just an extra expense and an extra hassle. But the Daiwa is ready to go out of the box. And for the price, especially on sale, it's a good reel. I have a Daiwa Tatula 200, which I use for swim baits. It's a little bit small for a swim bait reel, but that's what I use. And I have a Daiwa Tatula 100, which I've been really happy with. But what I don't have yet, and I want to fix this, is a SV. So the SV spool is supposed to be a stress-free spool, meaning that somebody that's not familiar with bait casters, they can grab one of these reels and not be stuck picking out backlashes all day. Once you get them dialed in, they're pretty hard to backlash. So even for somebody that's experienced with a bait caster, that can be really handy. Maybe you're throwing spinner baits into the wind, or maybe you're trying to skip a frog underneath trees, or maybe you're trying to skip like a 6-inch mag draft up into docks, and you can blow up your spool easily skipping. So the SV spool should help with all those things, and they have a couple new models. So they have the SV TW150, so it's a 150 size, and they have the SV100, and the SV100 also has spool boost, which should help with the casting. Even though it's a little bit smaller reel, it should cast on par with the 150 size. Where's that other reel that I was looking at? It's a Daiwa SV70. I like that black on black, and I like the size. And so this would be something that I would put on maybe a jerkbait rod. That's what I'm thinking right now for that reel. But I will end up with one of these SV Daiwa reels during the sale if I can swing it. All right, moving on to Shimano bait casters. Daiwa and Shimano, to me, are the top of the heap, so that's why I'm spending the most time on them. Now I have Shimano Corrado 150 MGL, which is an excellent reel. I use that mainly for frogging. And I have Corrado 70 MGL, which I use on my jerkbait rod, but you can use it for a ton of different things. But what caught my eye was the Shimano SLX 70. Now they don't list it up here in the bold description, but it has the MGL 3 spool. Now that's a big deal, and I think the MGL should be up in this line because they're dropping improved technology like the MGL spool, the Hagani body, the silent tune for smooth retrieves, the cross carbon drag system. All that stuff is going into this SLX now, whereas before you couldn't get it. So if I was looking at Shimano in this 130 range, either the XT or the new XTA, I would just take the leap if you can swing it and get that MGL spool, because it really does make a difference. All right, let's go to lures. Berkley's come out with a freshwater magic swimmer. Now, the magic swimmer's been around forever in saltwater, and the main difference here is I think they just added a few more colors. And it is on sale. So if there was a color in this saltwater side, look at the spinning wheel of doom here. Come on, let's try again. You can do this, Tacklewarehouse. All right, here we go. So if there was a color like this holo greeny color in the 95 size, or whatever size you liked, and it was cheaper on the saltwater side, I would just get the saltwater version and switch out the hooks. There are some kind of nice colors in the freshwater side, but they're, a couple bucks more. It's not a big deal to me, but it's something to note. This perpsicle color is kind of like a morning dawn. I like that purple on the top. A lot of the bait fish around me, especially the herring, alewife, they have a little bit of purple in them, a little bit of yellow, and I find that baits with a little bit of purple in them get a few more bites. There's a kind of ghost color, might be a good clear water color. I don't want to go through all these, but they have blue vapor, chrome, a few more colors. I don't want to talk about that one. All right, Savage hard baits. This is a new bait. First I saw a Yozuri twitch bait, and I think it was originally marketed as a saltwater bait, but they're bringing that over into freshwater too. And some of these colors and some of these baits I think would do really well. Even this peanut bunker color. See, it's got a little bit of that yellow. I wish this was a little bit more purpley, but blue is okay too. You know what? I bet the fish aren't going to be too picky if you get them to start chasing this thing. It's an interesting idea to me to have a twitch bait like this. It gives the fish a different look than a jerk bait or a fluke. You've got two sets of trebles on here. And I think that bait's worth a look. This panic pencil popper to me is a saltwater bait, but I bet it would work fine in freshwater too. This bait came out a few years ago at iCast, and it's discounted 44%, plus you get a 20% clearance sale. Some of these colors look pretty good. And you know what? Even if this little prop on the back breaks and gets forced open or whatever, you could super glue it in place and have it be a pencil popper, or you can leave it out like that and have it be a prop bait. So it's kind of two baits in one. There's a bunch of good bait fish colors. I really like that American shad. It's got that little purplish streak there, a little bit of yellow, which the bait fish around me, they all have that same kind of pattern. So yeah, I think that's worth checking out, and I don't think a lot of people throw that. This is a new bait. I don't have anything to say about that because I haven't fished it yet. And they have some spoons, some blade baits. Let's keep moving on. Bait Sanity swim baits. I have the Antidote. It's a good smaller glide, I'd call it. It's not my favorite, but it's good. For the price, I think it's good. But I wanted to talk about the Explorer Gill, which I've been looking at for a while. This female bluegill is a new color, but they don't have it in the floating. I guess they're all sold out. They do have some crazy colors like this Goldfish UV. But the clearance colors, this one is bunker, and to me it looks like a saltwater bunker pattern or menhaden. That's kind of a strange idea for a bluegill bait, but maybe that's the reason that it's on sale. Because of the price, it does have some appeal to me, but I don't think I can deal with that color. Maybe I'm being a little fussy, but It just doesn't appeal to me. I can't make that make sense in my head. And then you might think just only kind of the weird colors would be on sale. This is the Bait Sanity Explorer Gen 2 Glide Bait. It's a big bait, it weighs 5 ounces, so you're going to need a proper swim bait rod to heave this thing around. But they had 2 colors that were on sale. The TW Steelhead in the slow sink, and that's a significant discount. I mean, these are not cheap baits at all, but that's a significant discount, and then you get the 20% on top of that. That's a pretty good deal for what I think is, it's called TW Steelhead, but to me it looks like a stalker trout. And a lot of the lakes I fish have stocked trout in them. I see a couple fins here. Maybe I want to put a bead of super glue on that fin before I fish it. The other color was perch, and it looks like that might be sold out. No, maybe the perch is still there. It's just the slow sink is sold out. That other sink rate is still available. So those are 2 nice colors, I thought. And then the Chimera, they didn't have any special colors on sale. I kind of like the looks of that perch color, though. I think that would get bit. All right, let's keep moving. This time of year, it's winter time. Most people that bass fish know about Kitex, but you might not know that they came out with, I don't know how many new colors. I mean, just new color after new color after new color, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but I mean, that looks like a nice clear water color, maybe clear water smallmouth, something like that. There is another good clear water color. Yeah, so lots of new colors. And to me, the Easy Shiner really shines in the winter. So if you're in a place that doesn't freeze completely in the winter, but you get really, really cold water, the Easy Shiner will outfish a lot of other swim baits. It has a very subtle tail kick. It has a very thin section here in the bait that attaches the tail to the body. And what that means is that, let's look at a different color. That color is going to start to annoy me. Ooh, that's a crazy color. What that means is that the tail can easily be ripped off. So that's the downside. But it works better than almost any other swim bait that you can throw. So for me, 3.5 inch Easy Shiner, when nothing else is working, cast it out, let it hit bottom, slow crawl it in, and it gets bit. The other bait that's very, very similar, it's made by Bass Assassin. It's called the Elite Shiner. It only comes in one size. It's a little bit more durable in the tail section. Plastic's just a little bit tougher. They still will rip the tail right off this thing, but it takes them maybe a couple tries. Whereas the Easy Shiner seems like if fish just swing at it, that tail's gone. Anyway, in the 4-inch size, personally, I'd rather have the Bass Assassin Elite Shiner, and the 3.5 inch, or any other size that's not available in the Elite Shiner, I go with the Easy Shiner. So that's how that breaks down. All right, Shimano hard baits. Oh man, there's a lot to cover here. I'm going to have to try to breeze right through it. This Macbeth 50S I tried this year. If you reel it in slowly, it works pretty well. If you reel too fast, it'll blow out. And so for that reason, I find it a little bit difficult to fish. This one, this Macbeth Flat, is one of my favorite flat-sided cranks, especially newer ones. And it's on clearance and on sale. This color is a great color, and it did really well for me springtime of the year. It's also good in the fall. So I would definitely give those a look. Now the Zumverno. The Zumverno I don't have a ton of time on, but in the short time I was able to fish it, I did really well. It's got this flash boost technology. So after you jerk it, and I fished it in the clown color, After you jerk it, there's this metallic film suspended inside the bait by two springs. And when you stop, that metallic film is still going to shimmy a little bit and flash like a real bait fish. And that kind of secondary action can trigger some more bites. And it seemed to work well for me. But what I noticed is they had a couple new colors. This macchiato color, which is kind of like a smoky stealth shad color. And I don't see the metallic film cut out here. And maybe it doesn't have that flash boost. Maybe it's just one of those clear water colors, or when they don't want the bright, bold clown that I was fishing before, right? So, but I like the idea of having, a bold color and then kind of a clear water color or a neutral color, or maybe they hit the clown color in the morning and the sun gets a little higher, they won't hit it. You switch to the macchiato or some other kind of neutral color, you get a few more fish in the boat, and then towards dusk, they're back on the clown. So I like that whole idea. What I don't like is jerkbaits with the line tie on the bill. To me, they act more like crankbaits. I'm not saying they don't work. It's just not my preference. So I would lean towards something like this, where the line tie is still on the nose, but it has a deeper diving bill. All right, enough about that. Dual hardcore. There was these guys. These guys are on clearance, and they're excellent, excellent jerkbaits. So I thought I'd just mention them. Some of the colors are a little wild. Ghost Smelt. It's kind of like has that purple, but it's really a really bright purple. Not very subdued at all. Ghost Blue, another. It's kind of a bright blue, but definitely ghosty. What was the color I was looking for? Oh yeah, Metallic Smelt. Now to me, that's a better looking color than the Ghost Smelt. It's got that metallic sides, just a little bit of purple, brownish back. It's a little more subdued, but it has that flash. So sunny days when the fish are aggressive, that'll do it. What else? The shad color. I've done really well with the shad color. Maybe it'll show up better on this bait, but this bait has flat sides, and I find it works better in colder water than some jerk baits with rounded sides. So it's a unique bait. This and the Yozuri 110, I bet they come out of the same factory. They're very, very similar jerk baits, and both are excellent, especially if you get them on sale and they're on clearance, and you can take another 20% off of that. It's a good deal. Evergreen. A lot of times these baits don't go on sale, but they're on sale now. You got the shower blows. Come on now. Got the spinning wheel of doom again. Let's try one more time. There it is. Now, whenever I look at the 105 in full metal, it's always sold out and back ordered. But there's a bunch of other colors. A lot of the lakes I fish, they're herring lakes. And so a color like this makes a lot of sense to me. And 20% off, it's a pretty good deal. This bait is one that kind of flies under the radar. And it comes in a bunch of good colors. I believe the color I have is this Flash Wakasaki. It looks a little better in person than it does on the site here. And I fish it in the 115 color. I tried the 95. I'm not as big of a fan. They have 3 hooks on it, and it really should be a 2-hook bait, and the 3 hooks are just too close to each other. And they're very small and thin to make that 3-hook arrangement work, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But what's unique about the JT115 is that it's one of the few spook-style baits that's completely silent, and you can still cast it. So the 115 casts great, walks great. I put a dress treble on the back just to keep the nose up a little bit. And that was the only modification I did, and it works great. So if you don't have a silent walking bait and you have 800 one knockers and vixens and everything else, I highly suggest you get a silent walking bait. If the fish shy off of rattling top waters, sometimes they'll still go on a walking bait that's silent. All right, moving right along. Crush City. The Mooch Minnow is in stock. It's not on sale, but it's in stock. And, for me, I feel like I need to try it. It has so much hype. Some color like this electric shad looks like it's going to work pretty well. What else did I want to see? Oh, yeah, the mare. The mare is on sale, and it has a new size that's in stock, 2.5 inch, which I think there's a bunch of little herring swimming around. Maybe not that color. Maybe something like a Tennessee shad. You gotta have a Tennessee shad somewhere. There it is. Yeah, maybe something like that in Tennessee shad. Sometimes in the lakes, the young of the year herring, they have this kind of a golden back and a silver belly here. And to me, that makes a lot of sense. They have a couple new colors, like electric shad, which is somewhere. There it is. So, yeah, 3-inch, 4-inch electric shad. I think that's going to catch a lot of fish. Z-Man. Now, all these Z-Man swim baits are on sale. I've had a lot of luck with the diesel minnows and the minnow swim bait. Mostly I fish these in saltwater for stripers and bluefish. They hold up really well. I fished this Z-Man Mullotron a little bit. Fish seem to like that bait too. Some of the colors are kind of wacky, but they've got some good bait fish colors too. The Slim Swims is great. You can fish this in saltwater, freshwater. I put this one, I think it's a 3-inch size, on the back of a Z-Man Finesse Willows spinnerbait. And that's a spinnerbait trailer that I've had the most luck on. And it's awesome. Yeah, so it's hard to go wrong here. It kind of depends on what bait fish you have in your lake. Oh, and these shad fries, these are just great. Oh, we have a bad gateway error. Let's try that again. The shad fries are great for panfish, crappie. Anytime you're on a tough bite and the bass don't want to bite, I especially do well with those little micro shad fries on crappie. And it doesn't look like Tacklewarehouse is going to cooperate with me, so we're just going to move on. We're going to X out of that and move on. All right, this is a new swim bait. It's new to me anyway. Euro Tackle Nage swim bait. And they have some realistic colors. Again, we've got the yellow side. There's a little bit of purple. I wish the purple was up here, but I'm not going to be too picky. There's a real thread fin color. That looks pretty natural. And so for me, something like a little baby young of the year alewife makes a lot of sense. And maybe a baby bluegill in the larger size. All right, let's keep moving. Bass Mafia Dangerous Loaded Swim Bait. Now, I've tried the Bass Mafia swim baits that are just loose in the pack. Unrigged. They work great. You can rig them however you want. But I noticed that in the 5-inch, the loaded came in this Ghost Pro Perch. And in the lakes around me that don't have herring, don't have alewife, the main forage is often perch. And that's a pretty realistic perch bait. And it's not, $30. It's $12.99 with the sale. That starts to make a lot of sense. All right, Spro baits. I think they were on the Mississippi River, and I want to say it was Bassmaster, but it could be Major League Fishing. Sometimes I get them mixed up. But somebody was fishing a like a chartreuse and blue Spro Essential Series E-Pop. And they were hammering the smallmouth. Tacklewarehouse is not cooperating again. I'm getting that spinning wheel of doom. So we're not going to look at the colors there. The Spro Little John Micro MD works great. I'm not going to attempt to look at some of the colors. I did get one of these Spro Speed Demons. I haven't done anything with it yet, but so far I like it. And I'm going to skip over the Spro jerkbaits, just my preference there. Yeah, that's it. We're going to keep moving along before... Oh, I wanted to look at the sashimi swimmer. Where is that? Oh no, another gateway timeout. Let's just try. Let's just try and see if we can get to the sashimi swimmer. Sashimi swimmer. Sashimi swimmer. Come on, I see that spinning wheel of doom. Let's get through this. Let's get through this. All right, I'll come back to that if it decides to load. Lucky Craft. Now, what's new here are these Lucky Craft Wanderers. Now, before, you had to special order these things from Japan. And it's a very versatile lure. It's sort of like a pointer without a lip. They're sinking, and you can fish them almost anywhere in the water column. Now this 80 size has this black with gold ribbon. I don't know what it is. Maybe a dragon. And it doesn't look very realistic. And the other color is like orange with another gold ribbon. So I don't know why that color's there. But all the others, the 85, the 95 and the 110, they have more baitfish oriented colors. And so you can cast these things out. You can fish them like a jerkbait. You can let them sink to the bottom. They have a nice little shimmy on the fall. And not many people in the U.S. have thrown these baits. And I'm excited to try one. These Lucky Craft B-Freeze 65, they're the same as the regular Pointer 65, just a few different colors. They do have some new colors in a bunch of these Lucky Craft models. I like that 65 size. I also like the 100 size. Let's see if Tacklewarehouse will cooperate now. There must be a lot of people looking for deals right now because the site is running slowly. But they have a bunch of new colors with the Lucky Craft pointers. They have a color, it's called like Live River Minnow, something like that. And it looks like a killifish. And some of the places I fish, especially near Cape Cod, they have a population of killifish, and the fish hunt them and eat them. And I've never had a bait before that looked like a killifish. So, all right, I think I'm going to wrap it up here because I'm getting that spinning wheel of doom. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. And have a happy Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday shopping. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.